Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Tamiya. Kit comes in a 124 scale and you can notice that it's part of their 124 scale sport car series, and the plastic or model copies Toyota GR86, so it's a fresh release from the famous Japanese brand. I mean, both brands are quite famous, but this is a second generation of the sports coupe from Toyota, which is assembled or created in cooperation with Subaru, and I'm not sure that we will see actually a Subaru version from Tamiya, but we have a Toyota one and it will be interesting to see what is actually supplied here. First of all, I have to note that box art is quite nice. It's the same painter who makes all the car box arts for Tamiya, and they're really great in my opinion. This is actual drawing, this is not a digital creation, and box size is quite standard for this brand. Here you can see comparison with my hand. We have also a short list of the features here, but I guess we will not discuss them, we will just check what is inside. Here on the side of the box we have two, let's say, marking options proposals, and as you can see you can paint car in red, white, or another version is here. It's the gray car, but obviously you're not limited by this. You can choose something different and replicate it on your build. What is interesting here is that the car is depicted with open bonnet, so I guess there is an engine copied in this kit, which is quite great because some of the recent Tamiya kits, they did not feature such thing out of the box. And now let's open it. It's a top opening box. Here is what we have inside, and in the meantime I would like to remind you that you can support us with a small donation. It's quite easy thing to do because we have a special support DSV button on our website, or you can just join our website by clicking this button. And this kit was actually bought with your help, with help of your donations, and I would like to say separate thank you because this makes it possible to check the kits which otherwise we won't be able to take a look closer. So as usual, all frames come sealed with a staple. As you can see, it is closed from one end, and now I'm going to remove them and we will take a closer look together. And I always say it about Tamiya kits, I'm not sure why they're so obsessed with this stuff, because I mean it's not that safe, to be honest, and it's also not that easy to open sometimes because these staples are quite small and you have to carefully remove them in order to not to break anything. So as you saw, we are going to start with a clear frame. Here we have all the necessary clear parts for the model, and let's zoom in a bit so that you can see these elements closer. Maybe I'll remove a bit of dust here so that it won't be bothering you. And here we have all side glasses, we have also front and rear glass, we have lenses for the headlamps and taillights. Note that doors or side glasses actually hint that doors will not be openable, so they will be molded together with the car body, but at least we should have a separate bonnet here, so that's something. And maybe we can zoom in closer to these lenses parts so that you can see that these pre-molded features, they look quite nice, so they require just a careful painting and you'll be good to go. I mean, I really like the tail light lenses. As you can see, everything is carefully replicated. It will depend greatly on your painting skills because this tail lights, they're actually LED, so that's why you have to be careful in order to get the more or less, let's say, realistic appearance. And that's why I would recommend to check some reference materials. Maybe it would be smart to get a original brochure from Toyota so that you can get the, let's say, close-ups, and maybe also look at some possible assembly options which can be done with this car. Okay, so that was the clear sprue. Next we continue with the sealed plastic bag, surprisingly. Here we have a car body shell, and as you can see it is molded out of white plastic. Maybe I will bring it closer like this so that you can see what we have here. So as I said before, we have doors pre-molded. You have to be careful while joining the clear parts here. And of course we have door handles molded separately, but what makes me a bit happy is that the bonnet is molded separately, so at least the engine can be exposed on this engine, on this model, but the trunk is molded in, so it cannot be opened on your model. And note that all badges are molded separately, so you have to be careful while installing them so that they will be aligned right, but we have some installation slots here and there, so it will be more or less easy task, I would say. Next, we continue with the vinyl tires and also vinyl polycaps. So I'm going to open it right now. Just give me a second. Here we have 4 tires. Obviously there is no spare wheel in the modern car, just like on the real one. But as for the vinyl tires, we have quite interesting thing that we have some features on the tire walls, so it's not exactly just a plain vinyl part. As you can see, these features, they look more or less okay, and it's just a matter of bringing them out somehow. And the tire pattern also looks quite good. We do not have the seam in the middle, it's just really shallow, so it will be easy to work with such parts, and that's why I think it is okay for out-of-the-box build. I know that some modders who would like to have more, they will just resort to the aftermarket choices, but it's up to you because it will also involve extra spending, and that's why you have to decide whether you are okay with spending more or you would like to use the standard kit version. As I said before, I do not consider it as an ugly thing, and especially in comparison with previous Tamiya releases, it is visible that the quality was improved here. Okay, next we continue with the white plastic sprue. I guess I will close the lenses a bit so that it won't be that bright, because we have several surprising things here, and I guess I will not zoom out so that you can see more. Maybe let's close the lenses even more. So here we have side skirts. They're molded separately and they will have to be installed on the car body shell, as you remember. We also have the brake rotors. Maybe I'll close it like this so that you can see they're molded together with the calipers, and this is something unusual for Tamiya because usually they mold it out of gray plastic. Here we get them in the white plastic, so something special in my opinion. Here we have some bumpers and also this part which will be installed in the engine bay, and here you can see the front bumper, which is also supplied as a single piece part. We also have the badge installation slot here, so it won't be difficult to get it into the right position. Next, we continue with the separate bonnet panel, and note that these parts, they have the glossy finish even though they are white plastic, so maybe some modders will be happy to assemble it without painting, but frankly speaking, I cannot imagine doing so with this model. Here we have also some engine parts. That's the car bottom panel. As you can see, it features some basic, I would say, implementation of the engine from the bottom, so it will be interesting to see how this model will be assembled. And here you can check it from the opposite side. So we have some engine parts pre-molded, and that makes me wonder if the engine will be fully detailed, because what I can see is that we have 2 sprues left, and that's why it is interesting to see how the engine will be replicated in this kit. Okay, so I will put aside this sprue. Next we continue with the black frame. I will zoom out a bit. Here it is. It is also sealed in the back, so just give me a second to open it. And here straight away I can see there are wheel rims, which are quite special on this car. I really like the design. So that's why I was saying I'm not sure why would you change it on aftermarket option, because original version looks really good. And maybe it's a good idea to try the different painting option, but overall design, I really like it. So here it is, and just because we have closed lenses, it's a bit dark, so let's open it even more. And now you can see that here we have rims, we have also exhaust and suspension parts, and also some engine parts here, as well as the grille mesh. So let's start with the wheel rims. As you remember, we have separate vinyl tires, so basically you have just to pop them up and you'll be good to go. And maybe you can paint these parts, because wheel rims on the original GR86 are coming in magnesium color, so it would be a good looking thing. Here we have also engine belts, which will be installed on the front side. We also have some suspension parts, so suspension is surprisingly detailed here, so I wonder how it would be possible to expose it. Note that we also have more of the engine parts here, air intake and also air filter box. Here we continue with some wheel axle parts and exhaust parts, suspension parts and shock absorbers. Here we continue with the subframe. That's the front grille for the front bumper, and it looks quite fine. By the way, these are the main parts for the headlamps, so be sure to paint them properly in order to have the chrome finish. And now I will zoom out so that you can take one more look at this sprue while I'm opening another plastic bag with the chromed parts. And surprisingly, there are not that many of them. I guess original car is also not that, I would say, filled with the chrome elements, so that's why we have few of them here. So just give me a second to open it, and we will take a closer look. So what do we have here? I guess these are the parts for the tail lights. We also have exhaust ends and this top light. So here is this chrome sprue. And you can see that chrome plating is quite nice. Maybe I'll close the lenses so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Here they are. And these are actually chrome pipe ends. And again, I will remind you that this chrome plating comes out of the factory, so you don't have to purchase anything additionally. That's why I'm saying it is fine, especially considering what we were getting in the previous Tamiya kits. I can see that quality improved, and it should be enough for out-of-the-box build. Obviously, professional modelers will just strip it and repaint it with a proper chrome paint, but it will require more things to be done, so that's why the final decision is up to you, whether you would like to go for such thing or you would like to use the standard out-of-the-box features and call it done, let's say. Next, we continue with one more gray plastic sprue. This is actually the last gray black sprue in this kit. And here we have various interior parts, so I suggest we zoom in as much as we can. Maybe we open lenses even more, so that you can see that here we have a lot of interior parts, as well as the, for example, this is the lower plate for the rear section. Next, we continue with the steering wheel and steering wheel column. Next is the passenger and driver's seat, and note that they're molded as one-piece parts, which is quite surprising in my opinion. We also have the central console here. That's the rear part for the driver and passenger seat, and this is the central console part with the handbrake. Next, we continue with the dashboard, which is molded together with pedals, and now I'm a bit surprised because here we have only the right steering wheel configuration. As far as I remember, this Toyota should be also released in the left steering wheel configuration, so it's quite surprising that we have only this version of the dashboard here. Nevertheless, here you continue with the interior top, and these are the separate door panels, and note that we have these inserts molded separately. I guess it is possible to paint them in some contrast colors. And here we continue with the screen wipers, which will have to be placed obviously on the windscreen. So overall molding quality looks to be fine, there is nothing to complain about. And again, as long as you are carefully assembling all this stuff together, you should be fine. Next, we continue with this plastic bag. Here we have decals and mask sheet, so just give me a second to open it. And we will take a closer look together. Because here we have masks for clear parts, and they will actually influence the overall experience of this assembling this model, because it will speed up the assembly and painting process and let you focus on more important things. That's why I'm happy to see it, even though it is not pre-cut. So let me close the lenses even more. And as I said, it's not pre-cut, so you have to use the sharp knife in order to carefully cut all the stickers out and then apply them on the clear parts. Still, it's good to get them as a standard bonus without paying anything extra. Next, we continue with decals. So decal sheet is not that huge, but here we have a lot of symbols or decals for the cockpit, for interior, and also some meshes will be replicated with decals, which is rather surprising. I would prefer to have PE parts. Maybe some aftermarket manufacturers will fix it. And also chrome plated parts. So here we have various chrome plated parts for the badges and also for the side view mirrors. Okay, next we continue with background information, which is printed in black and white, and it still is quite ridiculous in my opinion because of this kit price, and also because at least this brochure could have been in color to provide you this look at details of the car. That's why I was recommended to get some original brochure from Toyota so that you can understand how to paint this and that section of the car. Next we also have a separate brochure with the tech tips on how to assemble the model. And of course there is an assembly manual which is also printed in black and white. So here we continue with some safety devices and recommended tools. Assembly process starts with the rear suspension. So as I said before, both rear and front suspensions are quite detailed, and that's why it's worth placing model maybe on some mirror stand so that it will be visible that this model features such details in the suspension area. Next we continue with the lower plate, then we assemble the exhaust here, and then we proceed with this muffler on the end. Then we start working on the rear brakes. Here we work on the engine parts. So as you can see, engine assemblies should be quite simple because it's a boxer engine. There is nothing much to show, but still it would be a wise idea to play with weathering and painting, and maybe to open the bonnet or make it openable so that you can show that the engine is actually inside. Next we start working on the interior parts. So of course you assemble the central console, you assemble the driver and passenger seat as well as the steering wheel, and these chrome stickers, they will actually go, no, it's the emblem of Toyota, it will go on the steering wheel, while I guess the outer badges will be replicated with decals. Here we continue with door cards. So as I said, there are separate inserts which should be painted in a contrast color. And then we proceed with the headlamps and taillights. So we have several assembly options. I wonder what they say, so just give me a second to take a look. Oh, so it's instructions on how to properly paint it, because you will have to follow these 4 steps in the right direction so that you can get the proper look. Then we continue with the tail or rear bumper. We also install this separate spoiler on the top of the trunk, and then we start working on the front bumper. I can see that this oval chrome stickers, they're actually used for the Toyota badge on the front bumper. Then we start attaching the side panels here and there. So as you can see, these are side skirts which were molded without the car body part, but it should be easy. So next we continue with some clear parts for the headlamps, and here we work on the glasses from both sides, so you can see the masking guide on how to work on it. Next we proceed with installation of these parts inside. This chrome sticker will be used for the interior mirror. And then we have the bonnet assembled, wheels, and screen wipers. So here we install the bonnet into the place, so I can see it can be movable because of this special hooks. That's why you don't have to use anything special. Let's say if you would like to show the open bonnet, you just have to preserve this special stock which will hold it in place. And that's pretty much all. We have here the marking guide, let's say, for decals application. It should be quite easy, just follow it and you'll be good to go. As for the painting process, still I recommend to get the original brochure so that you'll have a better understanding of how to work on the marking option of this or that color. So the kit should be already available. Again, I would like to say separate thank you for you for getting this kit, because without you it won't be possible. And of course, if you have something to say about this kit, write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.